Welcome to our second video showing you how to use basic tools within Silhouette Studio, a software you can use to design 2D computer-aided design images. So, the last video we showed you basics on how to use the Shape tool, which is known as the Drawing tool, the Line tools, the Select tool, the Fill tool and the Line Style tool. We are going to show you some other tools to use. Now we're going to give you a little bit of a challenge, and we'd like you to design some artwork that you could either print off or put on an e-card that's linked to Easter. So before you begin, you might want to use the internet and you might want to search for images related to Easter. Now I've searched for silhouette images of Easter to give me an idea of outline shapes for images that relate to Easter. So the first image I'm going to design is an Easter egg. So you might want to look at images to help inspire you before you begin. So let's go back to the software and let's start designing an Easter egg. So let me just select that image. So to start designing, remember you can either click on this icon here to create a new page, or you can go to File and New, and a new page will automatically open. The settings of your new page remain the same as the settings that you previously set within your software. If you forgot how to set up your page, just quickly view the previous video and that will remind you what to do. So we're going to draw an Easter egg. So what sort of tool could I use? I could use this tool here, the curve shape tool, or I could use the ellipse tool. So if I click on the ellipse tool and draw what might look like an Easter egg, and remember, when you draw something within this software, the measurements, the width and the height of the image changes as you illustrate. So consider that, because that's going to be the size that prints out. So if you're drawing Easter eggs, I don't know, to stick up around your house or to hang, you need to think about where they're going to be placed. So there we go. I'm just going to leave it at that. Now remember, if you want more accurate images, you can click on Snap to Grid and you can draw that again, and it will snap to the nearest grid spacing to make it a little bit more accurate. So at the moment, my egg is 60 wide, 80 tall. To remove this egg, I can click on Select, select the egg and press Delete. Now I'm going to move my egg over here. Because I'm going to get creative now, I'm going to click off my Show to Grid and my Snap to Grid. But this doesn't really look like a perfect egg, so I'm going to try and edit my shape now using the Edit Point tools, and I'm going to add an extra point here and an extra point here, because what I want to do is I want to move the ellipse in at the top to make it look more like an egg shape. So that's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to move those points in and shuffle the points around. Once you've done that, and you've had a little go at that, and you're happy with what you've got, you can start designing the pattern for your egg. What colour shall I make my egg? Move that point in there, that point in there, and there you have your shape. click on select to see if you're happy with it. So you can now add colour. So remember to add colour. Let's get rid of our page setup, go to the paint palette and select your colour. Now you might want to start choosing a nice palette of colours that relate to Easter, and you could actually create a new palette here and you can give it a name. So I could call my palette Easter, and I can start selecting and choosing colours that relate to Easter. So I'm going to go for yellow again. I do not want a red outline, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select on my outline and get rid of the outline altogether. Okay, and there's my basic egg. Now what you can do is you can select the line tool. You can create patterns on your Easter egg. Which you can then afterwards, remember to double click. You can then afterwards edit those points if you wish. And remember, if you do want to make sure they're perfectly placed, you can go back to using your snap to grid and your grid. So I may or may not choose that. But what you can do is then select line, choose a Easter colour for your palette, and I'm going to increase the thickness of that line. Now what you can do is you could create another line, or you could take this line and go to edit and copy and edit and paste, and you can get a duplicate of that line. Or let me show you a new tool. So what you can do then is stretch it. You could then change the colour. What other colour shall I choose? Nice pastel colours for Easter. But there is another tool I'm going to show you which is really quite cool. So rather than edit, copy, edit, paste, you can use this tool over here. So let me just, this tool here. This is called replicate. Replicate is another word for copy or duplicate. So here you can either replicate to the left, to the right, down or up. You could fill a page with lots of things. So I'm just going to replicate down. And then once I've replicated, I can then select a colour and choose the colour that I want. Now, I'm not sure I like where that blue line is, so I'm going to move that up. Ooh, move my egg. What I can do is click on replicate again, and what I want to do is I want to replicate, upwards this time. Oh, I quite like that actually. I quite like that the looks like spider's legs. I quite like that the lines are closer together. Oh. So sometimes when you go to select things, it selects another object instead. So you just have to have a bit of patience in this software, like with any other computer-aided design software. Now, if you select on your lines, if you click on the line tool, you do have other options as well. You can change the end of the line to make them curved or straight. And you can change the style of the line if you wish. So have a little play around. Right, I feel now my Easter egg now just needs some slight changes before I print. I'm going to add some spots, different size spots. Oh, don't want the line style colour, I want the fill colour. I want to take my outline off. Okay. Oh. So now I've got one shape. Remember, you can replicate that and create lots of them. So I could have a row of 4 if I wanted, and then move them round where I want them. Let's get a few more. Get one going that way. Let's move it over a little bit more. I'm just going to change the sizes of some. And distribute them around my egg. Not sure if I like that. Now, where these lines meet the edge, you could create an outline on there. It should, if you change the thickness, hide those overlaps slightly. I'm going to select all those spots, edit copy, and edit paste. Move them down there. Let's move them here. And I think what's needed now is some blue spots. Now, once you've created the design that you want, you can then duplicate these. Or copy them. Here we go. That'll do. Still not sure this is the best design, but there we go. So there is an egg. Now, what shall I do with my egg? Shall I create badges? So I might need to print them onto card, cut them out, and stick them onto a pin badge. Could I hang them up around the house? So if I wanted lots of them, maybe I want to create an egg banner. I could select all of the objects, and I can group all of those objects by clicking on Object and Group, and I can create lots of them at the click of a button. I wonder how. So if I go on to Replicate and click on Fill Page, straight away I have lots of eggs. How exciting. So that has filled an A4 page with eggs, which I'm going to print off now, and we are going to create a small banner of eggs, Easter eggs around our house. Now, of course, what you can do is you can select each individual one, and you can change the colours if you want to. Now, when I've changed that colour, it's actually hidden all of my designs underneath. That's because it's brought itself to the front. So you can click on Object, Arrange, Send to the back. If that doesn't work, move the egg out of the way, would it? Don't know where my... that's why. Object, Ungroup, that's why. Object. Oh. Try again. If you make a mistake, it's easy to undo. Edit, undo.